Hello again, it's your friendly shaman in the neighborhood teaching you about add-ons today. So first we're going to start with where to download from. Most prominent site is curse.com. Ta-da! So from here you can go to downloads, find the game of our choice, of course is World of Warcraft, and here's the main site. So from here you've got a few options. You can hit their latest add-ons, top 100 add-ons, most dominant add-ons they see right now listed here. You can pick on categories or by specific classes depending on what you're looking for. So for me, I've got a couple add-ons I'm going to download to help me with some rotations. I found this add-on here, CLC Info. So there are two options you'll see. You have the download now, which is a manual download process, or you can install via the Curse client. So if you've downloaded their client, you can use it that way. A very simple function. I like using the client. Some people do not. So I'm going to show you the client first. So I've already downloaded the client. I've got it stored in the background. I'm just going to open it up just so you can see. So we'll start with installing the client. Okay, so it's installing down here. It's flashing at me, and there it is. Clear my history. Find it in the list by alphabet. There it is, CLC Death Knight. See, so I've installed it. It will help. It's an add-on to help me with my rotation for my Death Knight. So for those of you that are not comfortable with the client, we'll do one that shows you a manual process. So we're going to download it. So there it is on my bar. It's downloaded to my download file. So you need to know where your downloads are located. Most dominantly, they're stored in your favorites, your downloads folder. For most users, I have a special advance. I have a secondary hard drive, so I've got it in here. And here's the folder right here. It's a zip folder, so you need to extract it. So you're going to right click on the option. You'll see the extract all, hopefully. And it's going to bring up the window. You need to set the destination. You want it to download into the interface add-ons folder of your WoW programs. So I'm going to show you most users hopefully are using Vista or Windows 7. Under my computer, you should go to C drive, Program Files, x86. Scroll down through here. It's all alphabetical, and then you should find your World of Warcraft folder. Again, mine's a little different, so I'm going to back up a little. So I'm going to my storage drive. Okay, here's my World of Warcraft folder. You'll find this. Find your interface folder, add-ons. Say OK, so there's your destination. Real quick, for those that might still be using XP, still under your C drive, you will probably only have program files and then look for World of Warcraft, not x86. If you're using Windows 8, I'm presuming you mean the x86 file. I do not use Windows 8 at this time, so I'm not definitive. So we've set our destination. We're just going to say extract. It's extracted. I can close this down, minimize, and just to show you it's in the folder, we'll open this back up. Okay, add-ons and interface, and right here at the top is the Hunter file I've downloaded. So you can see I have a handful of add-ons. Now we'll open up our game. So here's our character screen. So on your bottom left corner, you're looking for the add-ons button now. From here you can pick your different tunes, so you can specify which add-ons you want for each individual tune. So for example, I have this tune name. You can see down the list, you can see which ones are checked, which ones are unchecked. I cleared those because I don't need them for my shaman. For example, we can go to another tune. Some of it's very similar, some of it's not. Well, most of them should be, I will keep a lot of my add-ons similar for my user interface. The ones that really change are those specific to that class. So you can see I'm on my Death Knight tune. I'm going to go check the add-ons. So I put in the add-on for him. There it is. Say OK. Then we can enter the world, and we can start with that rotation. So now we're going to go back to my shaman, turn on these add-ons because I want to show those. So you can see I have a different, very distinct user interface than the normal wizards it starts with. In another video, I'll go into some more depth on some of these, but for now I'm going to show a few basic ones. One of the more prominent ones that a lot of us want to use is DBM, Deadly Boss Mods. So if you open your game menu and you check your interface, you can see Deadly Boss Mods doesn't actually show up here. You actually have to hit the command prompts. So /DBM, there it is. So this is the windows, and you can set a lot of options for the game. You can see they have the different classic Burning Crusade, Wrath, Cataclysm. You do need to download different add-ons for each of those older versions now. So each new expansion is having its own pack. So we're clicking on Siege of Orgrimmar. We'll load this add-on. So you can see some of your history showing on the file first. You go to the Options tabs, and here you can start changing options of the game. So you can enable it, disable it. You can set the mini-map button if you want to show up on there. Some of the channels, you can set your range frames, radars, a lot of different settings on this. I don't change too much. I do like the way its default settings are. But there are some general messages you can also check out and change if you want to. So also one of the other things is when you're in raid function and you're fighting a boss, if somebody starts talking to you, it will respond for you with the whispers, telling you, hey, you're in the middle of a fight, you're progressing this far. Once the fight is wiped or status is complete, it will whisper your friend saying, hey, you've completed it or you've wiped. So with raid warnings, this will show you where they are. Click Move Me. And so here's where the first option is. And you can drag it around or leave it where it's at. So this is just raid warnings. So this tells you where the warnings actually show up. So you can see the warnings icon is going to be right here. If you want it off to the side, wherever you like your warnings, your big warning screen to show up. As for your actual bars, you can see the sample of it here. Oops, let me turn that off. So this will show you a spell icon as well as a counter down for the enemy's spells. Again, click and Move Me. They are over here, and you can drag these around to where they are. Now you notice how one of them moved to the center of my screen. So as it gets closer, the countdowns, it's going to center in your screen to show you where that is coming up as prominent. Just come back here so I can drag you around. You can change some of the colors, you can change the styles of them, a lot of little functions you can do. Special warnings can be set up as well. There's a lot of different functions you can do. You can hide the blizzard options, hide great glossy modes. Let's try this. I had noticed this in-game cinematics option lets you hide them apparently after each movie is played once or always. So we're going to try this and see what happens. Extra features that you can check on as well. So you can see there's a lot of different things. You can even set break timers and pizza timers. If, for example, they set here. So one of the cool functions with DBM is, if you haven't noticed, is DBM pull timers. So you can do /DBM pull. Default is for 10 seconds. You can change this function just by changing the number you want.
4, 3,
So let's say we want a 20
1.
countdown. Pull second, 20 seconds. So whatever number you want to put after 10 or after the pull, we'll set it up. Also the break functions. Always got to start with the DVM and break. Oh,
5,
so you don't have required
4,
permission for this right now.
3, 2,
So we'll
1.
type DVM break 1 minute, see if that does it. Alright, so since I'm not in a ready, it won't let me set the timer. But again, DVM break, and then put a number for how long you want the break, and then you would push enter, and you see the warnings on your screen saying break time, and then you have the counter, as you've noticed. Those are the dominant functions that we use for DVM. Okay, another add-on real quick I want to show you is Auctioneer. So again, Auctioneer does not show up on your add-on screen. It's literally implemented into your auction house. So when you go to your auction house, you can configure a lot of stuff with Auctioneer. Again, I leave a lot of it very simple. There is some advanced functions you can use it for if you want to spend the time shopping the market to find what's underpriced and then buy them up to resell them at a higher profit market. You can. There are some other videos to help you on that. The add-on Auctioneer allows you to sell your items at the best value price and still undercut some of the higher competitors. So first functions you have is the start button, or the play button or scan button. So this can scan the market. Takes probably about 15 to 20 minutes depending on how heavy the market is at the time, and slightly does do with your processor. I do recommend that you keep, if you have your game in full screen, do not tab out or else you will delay the timer. If you set your game in window mode and then scan, you will be okay. Another quick exercise with this is if you click your Auctioneer, so you have the window, you can type /AUC auction get all, and it does a quick scan, which only takes maybe a minute at most. Sometimes I can get it done quicker. So you can see it's scanning, and the top bar is up here. So I did a quick scan, and the information shows up in my chat bar down here. So you can see some of the information. Not much relevance, but it just lets you know that the scan is finished. It's a quick scan. You can do it once every 15 minutes or once you change your times. Or change your tunes, sorry. So as you can see, what Auctioneer will do, besides the scan functions, let's say you're searching for something. We'll look for two-handed axes. Let's just say we want level 90s real quick. And we want epic rates, right? So here you can see a couple of items that have shown up. Blood Moon Reborn. And it shows prices for them. And then on the side, it tells you a % overmarked. So these are orange, red, so they're saying that they're overpriced by 34% or 13% of this one. Obviously 100% would be equivalent. If they're in a blue, green or blue, they're being underpriced of the market, so those are kind of what items you want to look for when you're buying. So again, with the Auctioneer, if you want to sell items without being undercut, it does show you when you right click on it. I don't want to move my mouse too much because it will hide from you, but you can see the top box has the item information on itself, and right below it, it tells you options for it. Selling to a vendor will give you 16 gold. But playing it in a marketplace on the auction house, you could maybe get 184, is what they've seen. And what they're simply auctioning it off right now tells you their stats and what to undercut some of the competing markets. So we'll drag this item up into there and we'll post it. And see, again, it automatically populates what I want to sell it for. And all I can do is I can create the auction. So it's just a quick option to help you make some extra gold to make sure that you're not underselling your items for too much. It will help you make more of a profit that way with simple function. Again, there are more advanced options with the Auctioneer that you can go into with the appraiser and your configurations that will let you buy items underpriced and resell them. So we want to sell a few more items here. Again, automatically sell it for me. Because as you can see, I can sell a pet, but it doesn't have a true value for it to sell it to a vendor. So you place it in the market. Sometimes the items don't sell as well, so you have to play with that a little and hopefully find a reasonable price. Even though some items are maybe a little high, but some will sell actually that high versus being just completely overpriced, and some people are hoping for a mistake click. So a couple quick add-ons to show you real quick. So I use an add-on called Postal, and what Postal does, it helps sort through your mail for you. So it gives me options. I can now open or return an item. So if I don't like it, I can actually click on it and return it to a friendly person. As well as this gives you an option to open all. So I don't have to sit here and click each one individually now. I can click open all, and it adds it all to my mail, to my personal bag. I can delete this mail item if I want to. Another option is with the send all. It actually lets you choose a lot of your friends through contacts. So I can add contacts, remove who I've recently mailed items to, who my alts are, as well as it has all my guild people. So you can see everybody in our guild, and we can mail each other items. If you're not sure who they are, you can start to type in a few letters, and it will try to come up with some of the people. Very simple, very clean to help you. Second add-on I use is called Sell Junk. And what Sell Junk does, it automatically sells my great items for me. So I right click, I go to my vendor. If I had any great items, it would automatically sell it for me because of the function. If you don't have the auto, you see the little button up here now, it says Sell Junk. You click that, and it would automatically sell your great items. Again, I don't have any on me currently, so it's not selling. But to pull up Sell Junk, you can go to your interface, and there is Sell Junk. And you can change the settings. Again, I set mine to automatically by default. It is not checked, so you have to manually check this. It will always sell a maximum of 12 items for you, or if you don't want to, you can uncheck this and it will sell a lot more. It will show you in your chat bar the gold you gained and some of the items sold. So another option that you can do is set exceptions for your Sell Junk. You can add items to sell that are not a gray item, such as blues, greens, purples, and you can also remove them from your exception list if you didn't want to do that. You can clear the whole list, one click button here. So for example, I'm going to add a item that I don't want, that is a blue, like our living ember here. So we'll click on here, shift click over the item you want, the name automatically shows, we'll say OK. So now it's been added to my exception list, so it will automatically sell when I say click on a vendor. And see right here, it automatically sold the item for me, told me I gained 7 gold, and I'm done. Another little useful add-on I like is Atlasloot. You can see my icon on my mini-map here. And what Atlasloot does, it literally just shows you all the loot available from the bosses. So you can select each of the dungeons and raids you want to go to. So Burning Crusade, you want to look for, let's say, Sephiroth. You can see Dark Weaver Sith is his boss, and these are the loots available. And in the heroic mode, it adds these gems to it. Quest items are listed as well. And as you can see, oh, there's Anzu, and he has a mount. So it shows you what mounts are available as well as the items. So if you're looking for specific transmogs or mounts that you want to find as well, you can do that. Or if you're looking in the current edition, you can go into Mists and go through dungeons to find what's your best item gears that you're looking for your tune. And as well as all the raid information is listed in here for those loot items. You could set functions with Atlasloot so that it only shows your class with filters. You can go into modification of those and then show only your gear that is relative to your tune. You can also set functions by what is raid finder, so you can see the item levels change from 476 to 502 just by clicking on them. They're unclicked. It's in normal mode, 489. Next add-on to talk about is Skada. I like to use Skada for my damage meter counters as well as it shows me healing meters. So for this tune, I've got two windows set, one that will show me my DPS ratings and one that shows healings during the fights. So I still have some history saved in here. So since I was soloing stuff, it just shows the meters there and how much healing I did for myself since there's nobody else in the fight. You can clear it. It's the icon that has the X over it. You can broadcast to your raids, to other channels that you want. It tells you right there how many people you want to include in the list, and then you would click report, and it would be reported to that raid. So we'll pull up Skada's interface, and you can actually set up profiles. So you want each tune to have its own different look or screens to display. You want to make sure you're changing those in the profiles first. So first one, you can see I have a couple of my tunes that have it. I can click on those and we'll change them. I don't want to reset my items right now. So from here, you got your windows. It will always give you one window to start, and then you can set some options with them, and you can create new windows. So we'll show you create new window. Say OK, and hidden behind here is the window we want. So go back into the functions. So you gave it a name. You can lock the window so it can't be moved, delete it. Click the plus icon and we'll let you adjust some items. You can change the fonts of the actual bar itself. Font flags if you like. You can also change the bar looks. Any functions on here, orientations. You want right to left, left to right. Then there's the title bar. You can include it, not include it. You can change those. So here's the height of it. I'm going to change its font. Change its size. More flags if you like. As much options as you want for the way it looks. Got some window functions you can do, and mode switching is interesting. I'll show you on my DPS set. Or not. Healing set actually. So when I'm in combat, it shows the healing mode I'm doing. When we wipe the mode, if we wipe the fight, it shows the total healing that all the characters did for that. And after so I'm going to change my combat mode. So I want to show DPS when we're in combat. And if we wipe, I want to see total damage done. So you can set when to reset your data. I've left mine no. I like to manually do it. So if I join a group, it'll ask me if I want to reset it. If I enter an instance, it will not. You can simply just change one of the options, yes, ask, or no. Same with leaving a group. So there's some general options again you can go through, showing the mini-map, the totals, hiding when solo if you like, hiding in combat. I don't hide it in combat because I do want to see it. There's a couple options. If you're in PvP mode, you can hide them too. You can only keep boss fights, which I typically do. Some of this stuff must have been reset. You can change the way the numbers are displayed as well. Detailed or condensed. So here's the format of how it looks. You can set certain columns for what you want each one to do. Damage, displaying. You can disable certain modules. So if you don't want to see them, you can disable them, and that way they don't show up in your list. So for example, I've got my mode here. It shows all the different modes. I can actually disable those if I don't want to see CCs. I don't want to see power, debuffs, let's say. We'll apply those. We'll reset. So now in my mode list, I don't see CCs available. I don't see powers. So you can change what modes you want though individually, or you can just keep them as is. And there's also a threat function, so if you're a tank, you obviously don't want to be warned when you're tanking. You can flash options, shake your screen, and play a sound when you have too much threat. So I like using Skada because it does let me use up multiple windows versus the other function. A lot of add-ons used to be recount, which only gives you one, and you can change a lot of these looks of it, but you only see one at a time. So that's why I like Skada. For this class, I can show both of them. Some of my other classes where I don't have heals and DPS, I just keep the DPS window. Another add-on to discuss is handy notes. So this one allows you to get to the timeless isle when you are 90 and puts mini markers to show you where there's little treasures around the island to find for your extra loot. Don't really need to make many changes to the system, but you can if you want to. But as it is set right now, it's very useful. As soon as you find the loot, it will vanish from your mini-map. There it is. So there's the moss covered. So I've looted it, and there it went. It vanishes from my map. And you know it's very useful for those 90s that want to come out and get some extra loot.